Alright, so I've done a lot of looking on the, I'll try to make this easy. It's not easy to do this with one person and a phone. Done a lot of looking on trying to figure out how to get cylinders for the injectors, the seals on without the tool, the special tool. I don't have it, and I'm not sure that my next car will be a Volkswagen, so if not, then I don't want to put a bunch of money into something. But I mean, there are plenty of other ways that that this can be done, and just randomly. I mean, this is not all my idea. I've just looked around at various other people, whether from videos or posts or whatever. Sometimes they're using the tools and they're doing that. On mine, basically, I'm going to take this, which was just a this is just a pin that I just took the end off of, and mainly for the white Teflon seal. And so I'm going to use this and use a zip tie and my fingers, and this actually works out pretty well. As you can see, it's just about the same size. It doesn't go over, but it doesn't go it's not too small to where it won't go over. So the only thing that I have done that I made sure is, matter of fact, what's holding up this phone is a bottle of 91% rubbing alcohol. I make sure that I clean my hands off really well, so there's no oil on that, and then I clean off the pin and the injector, all that with 91% alcohol before I do any of this, because you're not supposed to get any oil on these. Probably, I mean, for obvious reasons, actually. So pretty much what I've done with the last two injectors that are already installed, and I haven't, there's been no problems with those so far, is I just take this and I just slowly start slipping it over here. You need to stand it up and just take your fingernails and just sort of go here just a little bit. Once it expands, it'll slide kind of on its own pretty easy. And then you're going to get your fingers up closer. You're going to get rather up closer here, and then you're just going to slip this, and that will actually just slide over to the injector. So you see that's on perfectly fine. There's no kinks or anything like that. And then I take the zip tie, but instead of tightening it like you normally would right away, I just put it on backwards, just so that way I can just, since there's obviously some movement, I'm just going to pull this just a little bit around a couple areas, just so it starts to flatten it out a little bit, because it will flatten out in the head, from what I've been told from a couple of people. Matter of fact, even my own Volkswagen dealer said that they do not use the special tool themselves a lot of times when they do their own carbon cleanings and injectors and so forth. So I might go around here maybe 2 or 3 times, and just continuously just not really any tighter, but just kind of trying to get it down as far as I can. I'm not like pulling it obviously extremely tight, but enough. So if you do it a couple times, and then you could actually, I don't know if you can see or not, but it actually is a little more flat. There's not nearly as much sticking out there. And then you can go ahead after that, and you can tighten it down with the going this way rather than the opposite way, which it won't lock. But like I said, I go around it a few times, just to make sure that I get it as flat as I can. And if it rolls around a little bit, it's not a huge deal. I was actually told by a friend of mine that he's actually seen people put them in without tightening them in at all. I don't know why, but I guess they don't feel like it's important. And here again, it still is rolling around, but once you finally do get it to go around a couple times with the standard, or with the opposite, doing the opposite way, you can just do the normal way where you just lock it in. So my finger's out of the way, and so now it's on. Now it's going to lock down. So I just put it over top of there, and you just be real careful so that you get kind of directly on it, and then you just pull it. Kind of as, I mean, I guess as tight as you can. You can use a pair of pliers, whatever, to tighten it down a little further. But ultimately, you're only going to be able to get it so tight. You can roll it around a little bit also, which may help to flatten it a little bit, too. So once you get all that finished, let's see if I can use this, because I forgot my clippers outside. But so just we cut this off. Like you would normally do with any zip tie. So that comes off, and that's pretty flat right there. And then you just kind of, I just take my fingers and I just squeeze it a lot and rotate it. Doesn't take a really long time. Obviously with the tool, I'm sure it would be much easier. I'm not debating that at all. It's just a matter of actually getting the tool and spending the money and all that. But once you roll it around and you grip it a couple times with your fingers, it's actually pretty flat, and I've really had no issues with it going into the cylinder. It hasn't had any problem. These, you just have to be a little bit careful when you're putting these back on. And as I said, everything on here I've wiped down with alcohol, with the 91%. So this is going to slip over, but you have to be a little bit careful, because this actually goes over the seal and is a little bit, actually touches the seal. So you just have to be careful when you go over that. And that's already locked in place. This is really no big deal. So that's putting that back on, and that's done. And then you're going to put these on, and you're going to have the little, let's see, if you're looking at it, it's very difficult on here again. You'll have the little tiny lip over here, which actually goes toward the injector. And so you go with that first. So it's going to look just like this. Sorry, I'm also in reverse, so everything's backwards. And then this is just pretty easy. This just kind of slips over, just like that, no problem. And you also have, I mean, if you need to, you can get a little pick. As a matter of fact, I just got this. This was at Lowe's, and it was 4 different ones. And I also used it in the carbon cleaning, and it's been very helpful. And it comes with 4 different ones, so you can actually get around the valves and so forth and so on too, around the back of the valves when you want to scrape them, because it actually is like a fish hook almost. And it was about $7, I think. This one, all this you can find online too, but this part here just slips onto the back, and just sits just like that. So I mean, the whole thing is going to look pretty much just like this, with your plug and everything else. And then you're just going to take it from that point, and it will just push directly, obviously, into your cylinder head from that point. And that shouldn't be actually I've had no issue, like I said, so far. I've read a lot of people that don't use tools, special tools, but I'm certainly not encouraging that you don't get them if you don't have the money, you don't have you know, if you don't think you're going to own these cars, if you think you're going to own them for a long time or you have owned them, then get the tool. But if not, then, you know, that's maybe a way that you can do it quick and easy. I apologize, I don't have any measurements or anything like this, but this is just here again what the pen itself looks like, and just make sure that it's wiped down, your fingers are wiped down, because you definitely don't want any oil or anything underneath of especially especially this seal, because that one's going to be the one that would be most likely to slip off. It's under, you know, when you put it in, it's you know, it's quite a bit of a grip, so you kind of have to, you know, take your time and just, you know, go back and forth and just, you know, push very slowly and get it in there. But no issues, hasn't come out, no big deal. So hopefully this helps somebody, and thank you.